Malfurion, my friend, I've come across a deck that you may want to try. How do you feel about Hobgoblins? Oversized Echoing Oozes? Immense Argent Squires?
Goblins and gnomes.
I like the enthusiasm, let's do this. To set up Brian Kibler's GreenGoblin Druid deck, you'll need the following cards. A total of 5,980 Arcane Dust would be required to craft them all. Starting with the class cards, add 2 Innervates, 2 Power of the Wilds, 1 Wrath, 2 Savage Roars, 2 Swipes, 1 Keeper of the Grove, 1 Force of Nature, 2 Ancients of Law, and Cenarius. Then in the neutrals, 2 Argent Squires, 2 Annoy-o-Trons, 2 Echoing Oozes, 2 Haunted Creepers, 2 Hobgoblins, 2 Violet Teachers, 2 Azure Drakes, Loatheb, and finally, Dr. Boom. Generally with this deck, you'll want to flood the board early on and overrun your opponents with those smaller minions turned into bigger minions by your hobgoblins and spells. In most cases, you'll get your opponents low enough and keep enough on the board with all those potential tokens to seal the deal with a Savage Roar and perhaps that Force of Nature. Brian Kibler's GreenGoblin can struggle a little against warriors and paladins, but has an easy time against pretty much everything else. When you mulligan, you should always look for an aggressive opener. Those smaller minions are good, Power of the Wild can be good, and always keep those Innervates. Save Hobgoblin if you have Innervate or the coin and one of those cheap one-attack minions, otherwise toss it back. Your biggest lifesavers and game changers would have to be all the overlapping synergies the deck has to provide you with silly amounts of value, sticky minions with Death Rattle and Divine Shield, and explosive buff and burst potential using Hobgoblin, Power of the Wild, Savage Roar, and Cenarius. Some useful combos to shoot for with this deck are Hobgoblin with Echoing Ooze for some insane value, Power of the Wild and Violet Teacher for a buffed up token, Force of Nature and Savage Roar for some instant damage, and many others. There's just a lot of fun to be had. For further instructions, a full deck list, and a link to Brian Kibler's stream to see the man himself in action, check the description of the video. Happy that.
Goblins and gnomes. Goblins and gnomes.